Scott Carey makes an interesting post on one of our social media platforms, and he says, why all this talking filtration? I've gone 400,000 miles on my 7.3 Ford. I change the filter maybe once a year, if I remember to, ha ha ha. And it brings up a great question.
The 7.3 liter, the fuel injector tolerances are definitely much looser from the factory than the newer common rail injection systems, right? So dirt and debris will still be damaging to it, but not nearly as damaging as they are to the common rail. Now, on that 7.3, are those fuel injectors still in the same shape they were from the factory, and are you still getting that same efficiency? It's highly unlikely because of that wear from that debris slowly working through those injectors.
Well, we know that the injector is wearing over a period of time.
Yep.
Okay, we know that. Okay, what do you have to throw in?
So I'm thinking through this, and what comes to my mind first and foremost is, at 400,000 miles, the truck's still running, but what's the quality, right? What kind of fuel economy? How's the injection timing? Because what we know, whether it be a unit injector or a high pressure common rail, we know that from day one to the end of their life cycle, it's nosing off. The spray angle is loosening up, the holes are getting larger, the droplets atomization is going downhill as well. So for an injector to last 400,000, what's the quality of the way it's running at that 400,000 mark? And what we do helps to greatly triple that life. And there's more to it than just making 400,000.
I want to go back to old B model Caterpillars. The old B model Caterpillars, the 3406B C model mechanicals, those things would go 750,000 miles, and I never preach about injector life. Now, we can probably get that in a 2 million mile range if you start off with them new and put a FASS on in front of the new and keep them firing newer, like new, but much longer, okay? But they'd last 750,000 plus miles, so we never talked about injector life. Now, we got huge horsepower and fuel mileage gains, but we didn't talk about huge injector life. Go to our fleet that's running the Volvos. Before they put us on there, they were replacing those injectors around 400,000 miles. Now they're running 1.2 to 1.5 million miles. Now, okay, as those injectors get worse, the soot coming off that burn gets worse, okay? And when it went out the stack into the air, most of us thought it looked cool, okay? But it's not doing that now. It's kind of going through a filter, a DPF or an EGR filter, and it's plugging those quicker. So as that injector wears, you're gonna plug those items quicker. Yeah, some of you guys are lightening your trucks up, okay, but for those that can't, you're gonna be plugging filters and you're gonna be broke down on the side of the road. You're gonna be limping in. You might be on a vacation. And you know what RV stands for? Ruined vacation. So are DPFs, okay, and EGR systems. So we have fixes for that. When you get your truck, if you want to keep those injectors firing like they are then, if it's a new truck or a used truck, put us on then and keep it like that much longer, okay? But you know, that's what we're talking about. We're keeping it, and if we go to Mark Stumm's place out in Hutchinson, Kansas, he shows us a great video. Look at what he has to say.
Yes. Here we've got a 5.9 Cummins nozzle out of a pickup that's reached the end of its service life. It should be popping off around 275 bar. And we're popping off, and you really can't tell the pressure, it's just bouncing all over the place. It's not atomizing the fuel. It's squirting fuel, but it's not atomizing, not breaking it up into fine, small, burnable particles.
Okay.
We're losing that energy because it's not breaking it up, not atomizing it.
When you're talking about vaporization, you're talking about that mist.
Breaking it up to a very fine mist.
Versus like a garden hose.
Exactly. So it can reach all the oxygen in that combustion chamber.
Also, when you get a fine mist, you have more surface area to burn, right?
Exactly.
Where if you have like a garden hose, a stream, you're only burning the outside surface, so you have raw fuels.
Like clean with a garden hose, and then you put your finger over the end to help spread it out and add some velocity to it.
Okay.
This doesn't have any velocity to it. It can't reach all that oxygen.
Well, you know, to the naked eye that does not know injectors, that looks like a spray.
Yeah, it's spraying fine, they think. We do that all the time. It's spraying just fine to me.
Okay.
No, it's horrible.
Another thing to bring up on that, yeah, great. You did get lucky. You got 400,000 miles out of that, but what was the fuel quality? Was that excellent, pristine fuel at every fill up? Which, that's not very common, right? So with our system versus the factory system.
You just helped out that guy in the Bahamas with the boat.
Yeah, because of the fuel contamination, right? We got our systems on there, got them taken care of. He's not going to have to worry about that. But the on-road vehicles, same thing. The ultra contaminated fuel, those factory filtration setups that come on the trucks just are not set up to take the large influx of water into that fuel system, and can eventually pass that up to the injectors. Then you're definitely not going to be getting 400,000 miles out of it.
At the end of the day, you can't control what kind of fuel you're putting into your tanks, but with a FASS fuel system, you can definitely control what's coming out and going into your injection system.
What do you think an injection system costs on a 7.3, an injector on a 7.3 versus a new Common Rail 6.7?
Been a bit since I've been in repair, but I would say probably $180, $200 for a Huey injector for a 7.3.
Okay.
Versus 350, 380. Josh may correct me on that.
Yeah.
The big difference is the operating pressure, though.
Yep.
You're talking about a low few thousand psi to upwards of 26,000 plus.
Right.
So all of a sudden now, all these contaminants under high pressure common rail, they're much more abrasive. They affect the longevity. It's crucial. It's crucial in all of them, but it's never been more crucial as soon as high pressure common rail came on the scene.
Let's talk about damaging effects. We're talking about tighter tolerances, higher pressures and everything. What about if he goes to the fuel stop, gets a big gulp of water, and goes in and he has a 7.3 Huey system versus if he has a 6.7 on a 2024 common rail?
So if he's got a FASS in both scenarios, we're going to take care of the water and the dirt. But if he doesn't, it's going to go through his injection system. Factory water separators, at best, are going to be SAE approved. So they're going to get below 200 parts per million. But in a severe case like we're talking about,
they're going to burp it through.
They're going to let it right through.
Right.
So, but we're talking about the expenses. The expense is a lot higher with the new common rail than the old Huey, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're looking easily $10,000 plus to replace the injection system on the new trucks with the common rail versus the older 12 valve 7.3. You're looking at a couple $1,000s to go through the whole system.
Okay, we're sitting here talking about how it's degrading, going down, and it's running. I want the guys to take a look at this video from Mark's thumb. Look at this piston, and I want you to listen to Mark directly.
Customer said, no, I'm going to get them off the internet. I'm going to get them a lot cheaper off the internet. So he did. He got them out of Florida.
You get what you pay for, right?
He got them out of Florida. 5,000 miles later, comes back in and says, my truck's missing. Customer yanked the head and saw this.
Okay.
And so he says to me, he says, Mark, I think it's an injector. Would you test the injectors for me? I think we need to test the injectors.
After 5,000 miles?
After 5,000 miles,
Okay.
did this to the piston. See how it gold hang stuck the rings up here? The top rings? Actually stuck it,
Yes.
melted it. Actually melted it down to the ring. That's where we're spraying the fuel into, right into here.
Right.
You can't even hardly see the pattern of it because the injector was bad. It overfueled that cylinder. So he says, would you test the injectors for me? I said, let's take it one more step further. You've already told me it was cylinder 4 or 6. I don't remember what it was. This was enough years ago. But I think it was 4 or 6. I says, you told me what cylinder it is. So now you label the pistons A, B, C, D, E, and F. So I can't tell what cylinder it is. He says, grand idea. Like, sent me the injectors. We tested them. We found one. This one was 20% overfueled. We found another was 10% overfueled. And I told him, I said, we found another problem. We found 2 injectors bad, not 1, 2. We got one that's 10% overfueled, and he starts laughing. I timed the lever. I can't remember what it was now. But he starts laughing. I didn't know at the time. He says, I didn't know at the time because I just yanked the head off and this piston was melted. I didn't know it scored the cylinder wall on another cylinder. He says, you just nailed the test. That cylinder was 10% overfueled. This one was 20% overfueled with only 5,000 miles on a set of internet injectors.
What he's talking about here is how when that spray pattern is off, it was melting the piston.
Yeah. Yep.
It was melting the piston.
And you might not, okay, say you've been driving your truck for 400,000 miles. You might not have any idea that it doesn't run as good as it used to, that it's lower on power, more difficult to start, versus if you just jumped in a brand new one, say you had a brand new 7.3 compared to the 400,000 mile one that didn't have a FASS on it. That new one's probably going to be much more peppy and efficient because you haven't lost the efficiency of the injector, spray pattern, haven't gotten that wear.
And when that when that orifice is opening up, when air comes out of the orifice with fuel under pressure in the right circumstances, not everyone, it opens that orifice up. You're saying, great, I'm getting more power because I'm getting more fuel. You're getting some of that but you're also throwing off the delivery, and you're getting hot spots on your pistons.
Yeah, it might be more fuel quantity, but it is sloppy fuel quantity.
And so Scott Carey got real lucky with rolling the dice. And you know what? And it's not just one guy that gets lucky. There's a decent amount. But how are you the one that's going to risk that? Because these new injection systems are what, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000
Easily.
Yeah.
And that's if they don't take a cylinder out on the way out.
Yes.
It's a very cost-effective insurance installing a FASS system.